Hey, it's Joe Amoia, founder and creator of GPSforlove.com. Today I want to talk to you about this thing called respect because I hear it all the time. Joe, I really like this guy. How do I get him to love me? How do I get him to respect me? He's not doing the things that I need. He's not showing up consistently. What can I do? Well, before we go into the things that you actually can do, what I want you to realize is that you can't make a man respect you, okay? Any more than you can make him like sushi or make him like a Disney movie, okay? All you can do is introduce him to it, and it's up to him on whether he's going to respect you or not. So you know that I believe that there are boys and there are men. The boys are the selfish, immature, emotionally unavailable guys who only care about themselves. Well, you could do everything right. You could be the best you can be, but because he's a boy, he's not interested in respecting women or respecting others. He's never going to be able to give you what you're looking for. And that's why I'm a big proponent in that don't waste any time, any energy on the boys because they're pretty transparent. What you want to do is find a guy, find a man. And that's the guy who is unselfish, who's immature, who's emotionally available, and who's ready for a relationship and doesn't have a problem committing to the right woman for the right reasons. Those are the guys you want to invest in. Those are the guys that will respect the right woman when she comes along. So those are the guys you want to go after. So there are some things that you can actually do to increase your chances of getting a man to respect you. The first thing is don't be afraid to be yourself. One of the things I see all the time is, well, I'm afraid to do this, I'm afraid to do that. And I always, whenever I'm working with a personal mentoring client, I'm like, what does your heart say? What feels right? What do you feel in your gut? And they always have the answer. See, very often we're in our head. And I have this expression, when you're in your head, you're dead. When you're in your heart, you're smart. See, when you're just being your true self, your authentic self, when the right guy comes along, he's going to love that about you because that's what makes you unique. So one of the biggest things is I've got to say or do things just to make somebody fall in love with me or respect me. Absolutely untrue. I think it's a lot of BS. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Now, I will put a but on that. If your true self is a bitch, if your true self is a nag, if your true self is some, I don't know what, but you know what I'm talking about? Well, then you might have some work to do. When I say don't be afraid to be your true self, that's being that true, awesome, loving, open woman that you are, who's willing to be vulnerable to the right guy. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So if you're not that person and you can't get to that, do a little work. It's like a cake. Make sure you're ready before you get the icing. So I just do want to say that. So we've got that covered. So step number 2, okay, tip number 2 is don't chase a guy. If you really want a guy to respect you, there's traditional roles. A man feels like a man when he's taking the lead. He's taking over. He's being a man. Okay? Just like, there's the Disney, I call it the Disney myth, where you want to be the princess and you want the knight on the white horse and, the guy in shining armor or whatever the hell it is. Okay? So don't chase a guy. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't pursue a guy. Okay? That can't mean you can't show interest. Doesn't mean that you can't invite a guy out, to let him know that you're interested in him. Because some of us guys are dense. I'll literally admit it. I remember times in my life where it's like, so-and-so likes you. I'm like, really? I never knew that. And it's like, didn't you see, the signs? No, we're kind of clueless. We live in our own little world. So there's nothing wrong with making a first move, with showing a little interest just to get the guy's attention, to let him know that, hey, I'm over here and, I kind of think you're cute. I like you. But once he realized that, he should take over. He should be the man. He should take the lead and take it from there. Now, again, pursue, show a little interest, yes. Being needy, being desperate, jumping into bed on the first date, probably not a good idea. And take it from me, we're a guy. I'm a guy. Okay? Is that we see this stuff, if you want us to respect you, you got to act a certain way. You've got to earn that respect, just like we have to earn your respect. You always say, respect is a privilege, not a right. You've got to earn it. So that's number 2. Okay. The third step, and this is the big one, if you really want a guy to respect you, you've got to respect yourself in all your choices and decisions. This is the number 1. If you're not going to do any of these 3, I really suggest you do this last step, because a guy is, and trust me, I've been a guy for 48 years. We are not going to respect you if you don't respect yourself. And there's an easy way. You simply look at your choices and decisions. Are they working for you, or are they not working for you? Can you look yourself at the end of the day, can you look yourself in the mirror and say, yeah, you know what? This feels good. This feels right. I know in my heart this is the right thing. I'm saying not in your head, because it's not turning into what you want it to be or not what you hope it to be. I'm talking about in your heart, in your gut, in your soul. Does this feel like the right thing? I know I'm doing what's right and what's best for me, even if it's sometimes the hard choice and decision. When you can get to that place and you can live from that place and you can respect yourself, you've got a much greater chance of having the right guy, i.e. a man, respect you. Now, I know I've thrown a lot at you again, but again, all this is to help you on your journey so that you can attract the kind of guy that you're really, really looking for. So I want to hear from you today. What do you struggle with? Are you doing any of these 3 signs? Are you doing none of them? And if so, why? What are you struggling with? We want to hear from you so that we can create more things that will help you on your journey. As always, it's an honor and privilege. We'll see you next time. Much love.